someone that had an issue with an addiction that was connected to masturbation and pornography. And we were able to call the person. The person called in and we prayed for the person, we delivered the person. And then you mentioned that today you'll be explaining more further about the dangers of addiction, the dangers of...
Oh, the guy the professor is favorite for Ponster.
Ponster, yes.
It was deep.
Papa, it's your grace, Papa. You're going to explain to us further.
Glory! Yes, I'm going to explain further.
Further on what are the dangers of addiction, masturbation, and pornography. So maybe my first question might be, what is masturbation? When the word masturbation comes to your mind, what exactly?
What is masturbation?
Yes.
Masturbation is looking at a woman lustfully, 1. Number 2 is playing with your private part. Number 3 is to spew on the ground. So those 3 combined together forms the word masturbation.
So when we talk about looking at a woman or a man lustfully, because I don't think it's only a woman, also women also look at the men lustfully.
Of course.
So, which means many people are now categorized under the category of masturbation.
Yeah.
Because almost everybody has looked at someone lustfully, to a degree.
Everyone.
And to a degree, someone might have played with their private part, to a degree.
Everyone.
And someone, to a degree, has spilled out, to a degree. What are the difference of these 3, and how can one be delivered from them? Or no one should be. It's maybe a part of humanity.
The first is what?
The first one is looking at a woman or a man lustfully.
Lust of the eye.
Lust of the eye.
The second is what?
The second one is to play with your private part, you mentioned.
Lust of the flesh.
Lust of the flesh. Then the third one is the spilling.
Pride of life.
Pride of life.
So you can only be free when you are delivered from the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life.
Maybe you can expound more on that. How can one be delivered from the lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life? Because many people, they don't even know that they have got lust of the flesh or lust of the eye or the pride of life. So can you break it down to us, Papa, on how can one be delivered from that?
You can be delivered simply by the confession of your testimony. Because your testimony is built to be uttered. So there is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. What starts? Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. What starts? The eyes. It's not the eyes. Open Genesis chapter number 3 or verse 5.
For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that...
She saw. So the first thing everybody does is to see. But to see is not to lust. You can see that, these are good hips. You can see, this is a nice six-pack. If it ends, there is not lust of the eye. You just saw. So the first thing she did, she saw. What did she see?
She saw that the tree was good for food.
It was?
Good for food.
Lust of the flesh. What started was lust of the flesh. It was good for the food. That's what started. Right? Keep going.
And that it was pleasant to the eyes.
And pleasant to the eyes. That's lust of the eyes now. When it's pleasing the eye. Number 3.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
That's pride of life. So what starts is the lust of the flesh. What starts is to see. Then if you feed what you are seeing with the wrong activity, it becomes the lust of the flesh. Then lust of the flesh will pass it to the lust of the eyes. Then lust of the eyes will pass it to the pride of life.
Wow.
So the question is, how should you stop it? Right? Ignore. Because what you spend more time in, you grow it. What you focus on, you grow it. You grow on what you focus on. So it becomes a routine of looking at big bumps. What you are doing, you are downloading images in your gallery. And what's in your gallery is what produces your masturbation. Because if in your gallery is a woman shaped with a bottle shape, when you close your eyes, you don't sleep with anyone in the room. You visit someone in your gallery. I know people understand. So you keep downloading images, dimples, six-pack, bicep, tricep. The more downloads you carry determines how many times you masturbated. So the reason why kids never masturbated because they have no downloads in their mind. But when a child started getting exposed to pornography, sexual activities, movies of these days, they have now good enough content to begin acting their own movies. So people must not feed in what they are seeing, right? People should not focus on what they are seeing because everybody can see. But it is now on how much have you downloaded in you. So unless people delete what is in their gallery, they will always be in the masturbation realm. Wow. Unless people stop buying toys, they will never be delivered from the addiction or the demonic activities of masturbation. So the problem that people are having is that they are in a place where each and every time they are in a place where they are feeding their desires. Let me make it easy for people. Many people say, me, I'm deep. Me, I don't fall. Me, Why? If you check their DM, no one is proposing them. No one is sending them nude pictures. No one is telling them that I had a dream of you last night. But if you go and check on Prophet Hope Instagram, there's at least 10 girls sending pictures and messages and dreams every day. Why? Everybody has a desire. So you can only put a desire on the table, but the devil brings the temptation. So the question is, how many temptations do you have? Because you are tempted according to your desire. So the more you grow your desire, the easier it is for you to fall. There are men that can go and sleep with any woman. They don't have a kind. They don't have a type. They don't have age. They don't have color. It's any. So whatever Satan puts in front of them, it's a done deal. If the devil does not put anything in front of you, your DM is 0. Your WhatsApp chat's 0. There is no girls around you. You don't even have a phone. You don't even have a house of your own. You are staying 4 of you in one room. And they have no money for hotel. That's how people do.
Yes.
That devil does not bring a desire. You bring desire on the table. That devil brings temptation. But the problem many people have, they have no access. So desire without access means nothing. You are desiring for Beyonce, but you have no access. So you are not an overcomer unless the access comes. So the problem is many people is that they're in a place where they have no access to their desires. You want to have threesome.
Yeah.
Like him. But Johnny does not like. So you can't say in my life, I was tempted because you never had access to threesome. Yes. But if Johnny comes to Adabla and say, me and my friends, we want to enjoy you tonight. And Adabla says no, then Adabla can say, I'm an overcome. He has the desire, but he has no access. The reason why God stops access to you is because he already knows you are going to fall. Not because you shall fall, because you fail already. So many of you, your holiness is fake. Because in your desire, you already slept with innocent. In your dream, you already slept with innocent. Every time when you look at innocent, you are sleeping with him. But when innocent says, can I kiss you? You say, I'm holy. Your holiness is a fake holiness. That's why a man is not defeated when he goes into a bed with a woman. A man is defeated the moment you think, let me visit her. That's why God does not call you a liar when you lie. God calls you a liar before you open your mouth. Because you already intended a lie within you. I know people understand this. So God is looking for people that can overcome within, not outside. Many people already fail inside, but they have no access. I want to ask you a question. You are kissing a girl. You are removing your clothes. You're about to have sex, then you look. You see on here, it's written HIV. How are you going to sleep with her? So you come and say, I overcame. But to God, you already did it.
That's deep.
Read the Psalm 51.
It's written HIV.
You remove all the clothes, but there's a tattoo written HIV.
and AIDS.
Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin.
Clean me from my what?
From my sin.
This sin that David is talking about, he is born with it. All men born of a woman was conceived in
Sin.
So you already have sin in you, right? So when God looks at you, before you do anything, he calls you a sinner. The moment you received Jesus, you left being a sinner and you became the child of God. So you can commit sin, but doesn't mean you're a sinner. It means you are a child of God that made a mistake or that sinned. Keep going.
For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is never before me. Against thee, thee only have I sinned,
Against you, God, only have I sinned, right?
and have done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when...
Why did I sin? So that God will be justified. How? Keep going.
That may be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest.
David is saying, I have committed this sin, so that when you shall judge, you will be justified. Because in your judgment, you shall say you are a murderer. But people shall say, well, who did he murder? You murdered within you. He who hates his brother is a murderer. When you hated your brother and you desired him to die, to God you murdered. So David is saying, when you shall judge and call me a murderer, people shall say you are a liar. So this sin have manifested so that when you shall judge, people shall justify and say it's true. We saw you murdering, it's true. So what you do is not sin. What you do is the evidence of sin. To lie is not to sin. To lie is the evidence of the sin that is in you. So what you do action-wise is just an evidence because you already did it within you. Keep going.
Behold, verse 5, behold, I was sharpened in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest the truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom.
David is saying, I was conceived in sin. What he's saying is Abraham is a liar. So when Isaac is born a liar. Him lying just like his father in Egypt is just but in evidence. That is a lie. Isaac gives birth to Jacob. Jacob is born a lie. But Jacob lying to his father is an evidence of who he is on the inside. So many of you, you want to defeat Satan by not opening your mouth and lie when you're already lying within you. What's the next question?
Then, Papa, when we talk about masturbation, you mentioned about it looking at the woman lustfully. You're speaking about the spilling. You're speaking about the other one that you spoke about. I have a question when it comes to married people now. There are married people that practice masturbation together during a sexual act. How can you define that one?
I think the first question should be, is masturbation sin or not?
Is masturbation a sin?
And the first question should be, what is sin?
What is sin?
Sin means missing the mark of your calling. Sin is missing the mark of your calling. Right? So anything that's outside of your sin is not sin. It could be an error, but not sin. That's why the Bible is saying anything that is done on bed is undefiled. It's between you and your wife. I know people understand this. According to scripture, many people would ask, is oral sex okay or not? It's something I will never do. But the question is the husband and wife in agreement? Because the Bible is saying whatever you agree is undefiled. I don't know if you understand. But the point is, if husband and wife are playing with each other's parts, it's not a sin. It's not a sin. It could be masturbation, but not a sin. So masturbation have got levels. There is masturbation to relieve yourself. Because your flesh, there's no way you can say, I'm a man that goes for 2 years without even come, unless your spirit. So there are ways to relieve yourself, right? Number 2, there is now masturbation by reason of demonic activities. Then there's masturbation by reason of addiction. Addiction in demonic activities is both a sin. Why do I say it's a sin? You are now in a place where the devil is controlling you. So you sin against yourself. Instead of relieving or helping yourself, you are now sinning against yourself.
Then when we move from there, maybe my second question or my other question would be, what then do we define addiction? And how do we qualify that this has become an addiction?
Addiction now is repetition of everything you are doing consistently without having control over it. And you can only be free from addiction, number 1, when you accept that you are addicted. If you don't know that you are addicted, you will never be addicted. You will never be delivered. If you don't accept that you are addicted, you will never be delivered. So someone should know that I am, and someone should accept that I am, then there will be a solution for you. But the moment you justify what you're doing, I'm doing this because of this, then you can never be free. So many people can't be free because they're in a place where every time deliverance comes, they have an excuse. That's why many people that are crippled in the head, when you make an altar call and say, all crippled people come, people push wheelchairs, but crippled in the head, they don't come because they don't accept that they are crippled. It starts when you accept that I'm crippled, then you can be healed.
That's very powerful.
It's deep.
So you have helped us to define masturbation, you've helped us to define addiction. Then what then do you say about this issue of pornography?
What is pornography? Pornography is to look into someone naked. You are watching porn. Number 2, it is to look into someone who is playing with himself. Number 3, it is looking into people that are having sex. That's pornography. So when we were kids and we would look into the shower or bathroom on ladies that were taking shower, we were watching pornography. Live pornography. When we would go to the river and start seeing ladies taking bath there, we were watching live pornography. That's why I don't want to go deep on that.
Go deeper. Yes.
So these are levels. These are what?
Levels.
Levels. So in the Bible, the first pornography you see now is when Bathsheba was bathing herself. Hear this now. Bathsheba and the husband, they are all in the compound of the what? Of the palace. Right? Meaning David knows Bathsheba. He looks at her every day. But on this specific day, he said, who is this lady? Why? She removed the clothes. He saw all the right parts of her body. He saw, the Bible says she went with the lamp. So light is there. She's in front of light. And there is a shadow behind her. And David is up. He's on the rooftop. And he said, who is this one? I don't know if you understand. Who is this one? Why? Lust is triggered when your desires are confirmed. Anyone without a desire cannot last. So there are people that desire for big hips. Some desire big butt. Some big boobs. Some small. So when they see what they desire, they panic. So a woman will pass there. I will not look at it twice, but you may look at it twice. What's making you look twice is because you saw first, but then your desires were confirmed. So you are like, what? So many people, they look and nothing happens. Why is it nothing is happening? It's because nothing is being confirmed. People are saying you are spending much time on the phone. Much are being confirmed, right? I don't know what is your confirmation. I don't know what's your confirmation. But everybody has a confirmation, right? So when you look at some part of a woman, your lust is confirmed. Your desire is confirmed, then it becomes lust. So how can you eliminate lust? By having no desire. Because what is confirmed in desire becomes lust.
How then because already there are some people who already have that desire.
Everyone has a desire, yes.
And the desire is controlling them to a degree.
Of course.
So how can one crush that desire?
Don't pay attention. Keep masturbating, it's fine. But don't pay attention to masturbation. Before you know it, you are no longer masturbating. Because while you pay attention to it grows. But anything that can grow can die. Everything that grows dies. So keep masturbating is fine. But don't pay attention to it. If you drink alcohol, you don't know how to be free from alcohol. Keep drinking, yes. But don't pay attention to it. I'll give you a good example. My son was like, but I had promised this girl this and that. I said, don't be with this one. Don't do that. He says, how do I end this relationship? I said, with what you promised her, it's a fight. You already put someone in the clouds. So I said, so how do I stop it? I said, don't stop. The only way to stop it, don't stop. Just don't pay attention to it. Don't text, don't call, don't go out. Don't do things you were doing. Respond. Don't pay attention to it. By the time you know it, the girl is asking, are we still together? Don't pay attention to it. Don't feed it. Why? The dog you pay attention to loves you the most. The dog you feed protects you. Stop feeding the dog. Stop washing the dog.
It will attack you.
Because it doesn't know you. So if someone attacks you, it will look. But if feed it every day, let someone come and clap you and see what happens. So don't pay attention. Don't feed the dog in you. Don't pay attention to it and see what will happen. So ignore. Keep masturbating, is fine. Keep watching pornography. I give you a blessing.
I give you a blessing.
But don't pay attention to it. By the end of the day, you will be shocked. I used to watch pornography 20 times, 100 times, or I don't know how many times you do. Before you know it, you are no longer watching. Why? You are no longer paying attention to it. The moment you say, I'm not good doing this again, you just paid attention. It means you're going to do it again.
Oh my God.
Because the secret is in the paying of attention. The moment you pay attention to it, boom, it's a done deal.
Let me take you a little bit back, Papa. I think on the part of addiction, maybe you did not give us
More depth.
more depth. Because people are not only addicted to sexual desires. People are addicted to many things. Some are addicted to drugs. Some are addicted to people. Some are addicted to situations, to places. So how can one person really deals with that type of... Some are addicted to food, literally.
So the question is, how can you be delivered from addiction?
From addiction.
Oh, it's simple. You can be delivered from addiction by being addicted.
How is that possible?
Addiction is replaced by another addiction.
Wow.
So be addicted from reading the Bible. Then the addiction of shopping will go. Be addicted to something that will encounter the addiction that you have. I know people understand.
That's very deep.
Many people were addicted to marijuana, but now many people are addicted to shisha more than marijuana.
Yes.
Why? Because they replaced addiction with addiction. So the only free from addiction is to be addicted by something else. So be addicted to something different. Many people that used to watch porn. Jaffa came on live. Innocent started doing morning devotion every day. Lovey started going live every day. Hope calls started doing live every day. And guess what? Instead of spending time watching pornography every day, you start watching prophets every day. And what your husband doesn't know is the moment you look at these guys with the rastas and the good looks, and you feel possessive and say, don't watch this, he doesn't know he's sending you back to pornography. Because the addiction of watching these live videos have set free some people from the addiction of what they were watching every day. So the only way to be free from an addiction is to be addicted from another addiction. Then you are free. That's why you see the children of Israel came out of Babylon, right? They came out from Egypt, but Egypt did not come out of them. They were addicted to their food, to their dress code. So they are out of Egypt, but they are still eating their food. That's why even in the garden they said, in the wilderness, send us back to Egypt where we're eating garlic and bread. They were addicted to food that was there. So when they got into Israel, they are in Israel, yes, but they're still carrying Egypt in them.
Inside of them, yes.
It took then another bondage of Babylon that they may be free from the bondage of Egypt.
Yes.
Because in Babylon, they started learning how to eat the food of Babylons. They started dressing like the Babylonians. Why? Because they are being freed from the bondage of Egypt. So many people, addiction is made free by another addiction. Because no space can go without being filled. Every vacuum has to be full. So when garbage comes out, there should be garbage that comes in. Gigo, garbage in, garbage out. You don't bring out to bring in. You bring it to bring out. I don't know if people understand. That's why the mystery of losing weight is not in eating. Because if you stop eating, what you ate is converted to become fat. But the more you eat and you release, you eat and you release, you lose energy. So many people, they want to release without eating. Garbage in, garbage out. So unless you bring a new addiction, you cannot be free from the old addiction.
Is it the same thing that you mentioned the other time when you were teaching us, Papa? You said the best way, actually, to be in a place of deliverance when it comes to issues of addiction and any form of spiritual attack is when you actually are in a place where you first admit that you have a problem in order for you to actually enter into a deliverance.
Yes.
Because without admission, there can never be deliverance.
What made me better financially was I accepted that I was poor. I lied to myself for years that I'm rich, I'm prosperous. And they preached the message saying, I am. And one day I asked myself, am I really rich? What do I have to my name? You know, you wear these nice clothes and you look like you are something else, but still in mama's house. No car, no bank account, nothing. And when I accepted that, as I asked myself, what should I do to be better than what I am? So what makes people relax is because they believe in what they are going through. They have reasons to what they are doing. They have excuses. So some people will say, God understands our flesh. What can I do in this situation? But if you actually say, I have a problem, and accept my problem, then life becomes easy.
You mentioned the other time and you said that if there is a demon that comes in you through music, it can only be casted out through music. And if there is an addiction that entered through food, it can only be casted out by food. I don't know, maybe you can explain on that part. I still remember you taught us some few years ago, so that maybe other people can also benefit from that.
Can you repeat that again?
When you say that there are some people that are affected on a personal level, whereby there is a particular demon that have entered them, but it entered through music. And you said that the only way that demon can actually come out, you can cast it out through music.
What's played in has to be played out. You cannot say a demon that was played in, then you speak it out. It has to be played out. That's why David would go and play music for source evil spirits to come out.
Yes.
So there are people that are in realms where the type of addiction in their life is not casted by preaching or by fire or by someone just saying come out. There are methods and ways for someone to be delivered. That's the reason why people should register for one-on-one. Because sometimes you will need someone to really talk to and help you and deliver you so that you may be free. But many people, if you check in the Bible, they came in a place of being set free, being delivered, because they went to Jesus. It's not the pastor that should come to you. It's not the man of God that should bring fire and you manifest the demon, then you come out. No. It is you who should go to the pastor and say, I need to be free. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of this masturbation uncontrollable. I'm tired of watching pornography 24 hours a day. I'm tired of this. And it is that confession, accepting and confessing it, that makes you be free and be better in what you're doing. Hear this now. Lust is a testimony. The testimony of life of lust becomes pride. The devil comes and he says, Jesus, change this stone to become bread. Because the first thing to happen is the lust of the flesh. Take the stones and change the stone to become bread. That's lust of the flesh. Feed your flesh. Jesus overcame it. Then he went to the lust of the eyes. He showed him the kingdoms. And says, if you bow down to me, I'll give you all these kingdoms. Jesus refused. He defeated him. The third time now, he was taken to the top part of the temple and was told to throw yourself. Your feet will not dash against the ground. Why? So that you can testify. So that ladies can see you and begin to praise you. That's pride of life. So what happens now is, lust of the flesh is the one that starts, right? You see, then you want to feed the flesh. This type of board, I need to test it. This one should be testing nice, right? Then lust of the eye will come. You remove away all the clothes with your eyes. You take it to your bedroom or in the shower and you start having sex with her, right? In your imagination, right? Then after that, you actually take her to testify. That girl, she's deep. You start telling the whole church, the whole neighborhood, everyone, this one, why? It's the pride of life. Now, pride is the result of your masturbation. Pride is the testimony. Why? Pride wants to test it. Pride wants the reality of what is inside of you. Pride wants to manifest your desire. That's why God does not give a lot of people money, because money has access. Remember, many people have a desire, but they don't have access. But money is the access.
True.
I know people understand.
Yes, sir.
Fame is access. A gift is access. So God doesn't just give people glory, because many people, they have a glory. And it is that glory that is their downfall. Because now they have access to 100 women a day. That is why your main prayer should to pray for people that have made it in life. And that is why you must not judge people that make mistakes. Because you can't tell me that a person who has 2 temptations and a person who has 1 million temptations, they are the same. I guarantee you, the person that's fighting 1 million people that want them is guaranteed to fall a minimum 50 times or 100 times or 200 times. Because the question should be, where do you get the power to resist 1 million people of your desire? Not just 1 million, 1 million people of your desire. That is why people should understand the pastor in New York City. How many pretty girls of his desire were coming after him? If it's 5, we have to judge you. 5 girls were after you, you could not stand 5. But if the whole world is writing the pastor, all the slave queens of New York is writing the pastor. If he sits on the restaurant, they are calling each other, let's all try. And you tell me there is no one day he's going to give in. It's okay, but let's judge Samson. If he is asked a question by Delilah and he says right away that my power is in the air. But first time he lied, second time he lied, third time he keeps winning until he could not. So it is the amount of pressure you should look at. If love fails today, we must not laugh at him. We should understand him. It is the amount. You know why people would leave the church? Because it was not them that took him down. 90% of the girls that desire love in his church, they will leave church because they have a heartbreak, not because he went out with a girl. They are broken that it was not me. I wish people would understand.
They're not catching it.
So when it comes to fall and when it comes to victory, we are not measured by our desire. Because everybody has a desire. We are measured to the access we have. How much of the access do you have? That was the problem with Adam in the garden. You have been given 1 million trees and told only not to touch 2, but you still touched 2. If there was only 3 trees, it's a different topic. And God says don't touch 2. God. The access. You had access to all the trees of the garden. That is God's bitterness on David. David, I gave you all the land of Israel. I gave you victory, I gave you houses, I gave you anything you asked of me. How dare you go kill somebody and take his wife, impregnate the wife and kill the husband? You know what's the shocking part? If you had asked of me anything, I would have given you. If you had asked me for a virgin, I would have given you. So the problem is you have no access. You only have access to one person and you already fall. You have access to 5 people and you already fail. So the prayer that you should make is, God, give me no access. You want to be free? God, give me no access. So if you have no internet, no pornography. The problem is you have access to it. So cut where the access is. Give the phone. Live without the phone. Leave the phone. Make sure you have no phone. If it is TV, give the TV. Cut it off. How? Remove the access. You have the desire, but if you have no access, there is no sin. There is no fall. So cut the access. Throw away the phone. If it's TV, give the TV. Cut the access. Disconnect the internet. Go and buy a Nokia 3310. Buy Nokia 3310. Cut the access. You can keep what you are feeding. What you starve does not stay. I don't know if you understand. So the question is, what is the food of the spiritual husband? Pornography, masturbation, desire. So where there is food, they come. So if you put poop in this house, flies will rush here. Why? Because where you are fed is where you stay. So you spray. That's what people do. Prayer. That spray. All the flies die. But after 10 minutes, new flies are in the house. Because they stay where they are being fed. Yes. So the problem is not to fight the flies now. Don't fight the spiritual husband. No. Remove the food. Remove the poop. You don't have to spray for the flies. The flies that are in the house will leave. Why? Because where you are starved, you don't stay. You can only stay where you are fed. So many people will be like, I've been praying for this husband to go. I've been praying for these demonic activities to stop in my dreams. Stop the food. Starve them. They will not come. So spiritual husbands are invited by food. What's on your table? There are toys everywhere. With names. Collection. There is a biggie. And there is big man. And there is shorty. They are all different.
And shorty.
Remove the food and the spirit will not stay. No spiritual house, a place where there is no food.
When it comes to actual food, how do you disconnect from food when you have to eat?
It's talking about physical food. Like, how do I
If you have an addiction to food,
get this delivered from food, eating food?
Or if you're addicted to food, if you're addicted to physical food, you need to be addicted, but I'm trying to say what can replace food.
Like, there are people who just, like, they just take in food, like, everywhere. They're just eating. They're just obsessed with food.
They are not eating food. The food is not eating them. I preached a message called "What's Eating You?" It was deep. The guy was so fat and he was short, so he couldn't drive. Because if he sits on the chair, on the car seat, if he pulls in front, the stomach would block him. So he has to pull back. If he pulls the seat back, his legs cannot reach the accelerator because the guy wouldn't stop eating. So God is in a place where He wants people to be free from food, right? But the question is, how do I get free from food? Huh?
There are some people that will not eat and still they'll expand.
Maybe you should go to prison for some time.
I think maybe it's a teaching that...
It's a teaching that's different, but I don't know. I have never looked into that one. Now, someone is asking, how can I be delivered from family stress? Don't care. Stop caring. You are stressed simply because you care too much. You care what people say about you. People always have something to say about you. You care that if you stop caring, how are they going to live? They'll be better than what they are now. You are actually crippling people by taking care of them. You are the demon. You are the demon. You are evil more than a demon by caring for people that can care for themselves. You all have same legs, same hands, and yet you are crippling people by paying rent for those people, feeding them at all times, and they are 30 years old. 38 years old, 28 years old, and you are the youngest, and they are sitting in the house. No. Kick out the Jonah. As long as Jonah is in the boat, it will sink. So you are the one sinking. You are stressing over people that are not stressed. You are stressing over people that are not stressed. You are your own bondage. You care. Don't care. Do you know what people write about me? I don't care. One of the journalists approached me and said, I have a story of this about you. Give us the money so we won't write about this. I said, let me give you money so you can write. Why should I stop you? The guy was confused. I said, why should I stop you? You're writing about me. It means I'm special. If you all don't write about me, then I should ask myself, what am I doing wrong? Any special person, people lie about them. They gossip about them. They write even the truth or the bad about them. It's just a message that I'm special. So why should I be stressed that you said I'm a liar? If I'm a liar, I'm a liar. If I'm not, I'm not. It's not going to change because you wrote anything. So go and write whatever you want to write. So why stress over what you can't undo? Don't you use your energy on thinking things that are not going to help you? You are going to prison. So what? If you're going to prison, you just go to prison. If you stress, it's not going to change. Someone says you have HIV, so what? Even if they didn't tell you, you had it already. So just live by it. Life is too short to stress. You are too blessed to be stressed. Ignore. Don't care. Stop caring. Someone, how can I get rid of a spiritual husband? I already said, stop feeding the husband. Spiritual husband, they come where they are being fed. And what is the food of these spiritual husbands? Pornography, masturbation, sex everywhere, at any time, with everyone. Stop feeding these spirits and see what will happen. Don't fight them. Don't bind them. Stop feeding them and see what happens. See spiritual husbands as flies that are coming in the house because there's something smelling bad. If you spray them, they die, new ones will come. So don't spray the flies. Remove the smell and the flies will go.
Someone was asking, is it lust to have a desire for a type of a person?
It's not lust.
Like to say, I want this type of a man, a type of a husband, a type of a man of God as my husband. I want him to be tall, V-chested, tricep, bicep.
Desire is good. That's why we marry beautiful ladies. Because we desire them. Desire is good. But feeding into your desires will give birth to lust.
You mentioned spit to the ground. And I was wondering if would that be like...
But remember, there are 3 types of masturbation. Spit to the ground, imagination, and playing with yourself. All right? The first masturbation is to relieve yourself. The second one is addiction. The third one is demonic. So natural masturbation is not a problem. Everybody does that. It's part of nature. As long as your flesh is part of nature. But if you cross the line, it becomes a problem. So see this topic as drinking alcohol to those that drink and people that are drunkards. They are not the same. Drunkards are people that have crossed the line. But anyone can drink. Like I went to preach for a pastor. The whole church drinks wine. So their Holy Communion, they don't do what we do, grape juice. They're Italians. So every family in Italy, they drink. It's normal, right? But it's different topic when you become a drunkard. So everybody masturbates. That's why when that man was sleeping with his wife, with his brother's wife, God came down in anger and killed him. Why? He was not sleeping with her. He was with her in bed, but he was sleeping with someone in his gallery. So when it was time to come, he pulled out and he spit on the ground, and God killed him. I don't know if you understand. So I'll give this point to everybody. There is no one called perfect wife or perfect husband, but they are perfect wives and perfect husbands. Where? In your gallery. Because in your imagination, you imagine the perfect person for yourself. You shape the right shape. You put the right size. Where? In your mind. That's why when you pay attention to masturbation, it brings division in your own bedroom. Masturbation gives birth to anger. You become rude to your partner. Check the days you masturbate and how you talk to each other. That's why people should understand the mystery of marriage. Marriage is not I do until death do us apart. Marriage is sex. The moment you are having sex with someone, you already have married that person. So I wonder how many people wives have. He who joins himself with the prostitute become one with her. That's marriage. The two shall become one. For this reason, man shall leave his father and his mother, and the two shall become one. What reason? Sex. Any other things are benefits after. But the message of marriage is sex. When there is no sex in the marriage, that's a divorce. Divorcing on paper, signing that paper, that's not divorce. It's just to officialize the divorce that was already there. So no sex means divorce. Because sex makes you one. And the opposite is true. Lack of sex makes you two. And the two means division. And divisions means divorce. So when people have no sex, there's a room for masturbation. And masturbation now makes you grow anger over the person who's supposed to give you sex. So you start disrespecting each other. You start doing whatever you want and she does whatever she wants. Why? Because when you are masturbating, you are with a perfect person in your mind. But then your husband is not perfect, your wife is not perfect. So the perfect one that does not exist will affect the unperfect that exists. So to cut masturbation is to help yourself. I'll never understand. So again, there's masturbation to relieve yourself, which is natural. But then there's crossing a line to addiction. Then there's a crossing line to demonic activities. Then things will not be well. So it will be like someone has put poop here. Flies are all over the house. Right? And someone went to the bathroom and pooped. You will never find a fly in the toilet. But toilet is the home of their food. But you never find them there. Why? Because it's in the right place at the right time. So when you relieve yourself, you are like someone in the bathroom. If you are addicted, you are like someone pooping on the table. So spiritual husbands will come.
That's deep.
So you have a perfect partner in you. That perfect one affects the unperfect.
That's powerful. That's powerful, Papa. Someone is saying, I think this question is a little bit out of context and topic, but someone is saying, Prophet, what can you say when a ministry doesn't grow and finances are always lacking and those pastors give tithes and offerings? Like they have a covering, they're giving tithes.
The problem is never your covering. The problem is always you. So before we ask the question, you have to accept that there is something wrong you are doing. Then you say, what's happening is this. Maybe I don't know where I'm doing it wrong. Because you are the wrong to your own life. No one is wrong for you. If you blame your spiritual father, what you're saying is, I'm wrong. I chose the wrong spiritual father. So again, what is the question?
You're saying that the finances of the church are not growing.
Oh,
yes.
Right. All right.
Though I give my tithes and offerings
to
my covering, but the finances of the church are not growing.
All right. There's a difference between ministry and church. The church is the subtraction. The ministry is the adding. No bird can fly with one wing. And this guy has got one wing called church. It has to be balanced by another wing called ministry. Ministry brings in money. Church brings out money. Everything about church, it takes out money. That's why the gospel is for free, but the means to it is not for free. The instruments we use, they are not for free. The sound guy, for example, the sound guy alone, yesterday alone, we paid him $600 for one service, just to make sure our sound is good. One guy. Forget about any other people we pay. One guy, that's $600. And how much is the offering? Maybe $400. We forget about paying other people and other things, right? The gospel is for free, but the means to it is not for free, right? So church is always taken, but you have to have ministry. It is in the ministry where you sell books. No books can be sold in the church. That's why Jesus drove people that were selling stuff in the church. In the church, we do not do that. That's why when you come out of TD Jack's church, there's a coffee shop. That's ministry now. That's bringing money. There's a bookshop. There's a clothing shop, right? All these are platforms which are bringing money. I know people understand. So ministry brings in money, but church takes out money. So he has to balance it. Number two, he can tithe, but the church alone has to tithe. So there is his personal tithe, but the church also have to tithe. It's like someone running business. Your business pays you. You should pay your own tithe, and your business should pay its own tithe. So it could be around those areas and stuff, but it's a different topic.
It's powerful.
Any other questions?
Someone is asking procrastination, for instance, delay. Does masturbation has an effect to procrastination and delay?
Of course, the same energy used for masturbation is the same energy required for meditation. The same imagination you use for masturbation is the same imagination you use for meditation. So you end up delaying yourself spiritually by focusing on the things that are physical. I'm telling you, you cannot spend that energy in masturbation and then find energy to pray after. It's impossible. It's impossible. So it's actually, we can call it a delaying spirit. It delays to work your own marriage. It delays to do some spiritual stuff. It's a limitation.
Someone is asking how often should married people have sex?
Anytime. Anytime possible, according to their sex drive and according to their energy. Many times there is unbalance. The wife would want more than the man. Or the man usually likes more than the wife. But if you find a capability, a perfect match, then you all enjoy. You can do it anytime, anywhere, any place. Because it's a gift. It's the highest gift God ever gave us. There's no gift on earth that is above sex. Money is sweet. Prophecy is sweeter than money. But sex is above all.
Sweetest.
All right, everyone, God bless you. We will see you at night.